Thank you for joining us here on This is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, all eyes on the Odisha and West Bengal coastal regions as Cyclone DANA is all set to make landfall any time now. Wind speeds up to 120 kilometers per hour expected. Massive evacuations on. At least 10 lakh people are being moved away from the coastal regions in Odisha. In Bengal, that number is expected to be around 3 lakh, with at least 2 lakh people who are already shifted. Another lakh could be evacuated in the next few hours. These are some updates we're looking out for. In Kolkata, air traffic suspended. Flight operations at the Kolkata airport has been suspended ahead of Cyclone DANA landfall. It was suspended at 6 p.m. this evening. My colleague Bhaskar is joining us live from Puri. The Republic Bangla team fronting the entire coverage for Cyclone DANA. I'm going across to Bhaskar, who's joining us live. He's in Puri, tracking the developments. How many people have been evacuated or moved away from the coastal areas, Bhaskar, so far?
Well, Niranjan, the Odisha government has already evacuated all the people who are in those coastal areas. And as of now, the people from Odisha, they are hoping that this landfall wouldn't make a major disruption in their daily lives, because as of now, the streets in Puri, I'm in Puri district, and the streets, they're already deserted. It's only about 7 p.m., but the streets are almost deserted as of now, and the people, they're taking shelter in different parts of this state, and the sea is very cold now, and gradually the gusting winds, they are getting higher and higher, and the common people, they are either evacuated by this Odisha government, or they are taking a safe place to create a shelter, to take a shelter, and to get relief from this Cyclone DANA. And as you can see, Niranjan, the gusting wind speed is getting higher, and literally in sometimes it's very difficult to stand in one place and to report the ground situation, because sometimes gusting winds are that much heavy that will blow everyone or everything away. And the beach areas are now being evacuated and controlled by the local administration, so that no one, I repeat, no one, not a single tourist or any vendor can go in there, and they are trying to minimize the risk, because this Cyclone DANA will make its landfall within a very few hours. And as of now in Puri, it's evening, and it's already a very difficult situation for the common people, because this gusting wind speed is getting higher and higher, and also a heavy rain started just a few hours back, and as of now, the people who live in coastal areas, now they are being evacuated by Odisha government, and Odisha government are keeping a close eye on the current situation in Puri as well as in the all over state of Odisha. Over to you, Niranjan.
I'm getting in some more updates right now. In fact, in Kolkata, there are some updates. The Kolkata airport has prepared to tackle impact of Cyclone DANA. A flight operation suspended for 15 hours starting 6 p.m. this evening. The airport will be closed for operations after the last flight leaves from 6 p.m. for the next 15 hours. For the next 14 hours at least, the airport will be non-operational in Kolkata. And the gates of the airports will be shut completely. All flights that are on the ground will remain on the ground. There will be no air movement over the Kolkata airport or from the Kolkata airport. And the Met Department has said that the severe cyclonic storm DANA is very likely to move north-northwestwards and cross North Odisha, West Bengal, between the Puri and Sagar Island, close to Bhitarkanika and Dhamara. During midnight, in about 4 to 5 hours from now, and as a severe cyclonic storm with a wind speed of up to 100 to 100 kilometers per hour, gusting at about 120 kilometers per hour. That was the IMD Indian Met Department statement that came in. And in Odisha, at least 10 lakh people have been shifted to different cyclone shelters where all services will be made available. And the evacuation has picked up this evening. Similarly, the number going up to almost 3 lakhs in West Bengal. I'm going back to my colleague Bhaskar to get one more response on Bengal, because the Republic Bangla team is in Odisha and West Bengal. In Bengal, what kind of measures are being taken by the Mamata Banerjee government? If you can quickly fill in our viewers on the updates that you're picking up, Bhaskar, on the steps taken by Bengal.
Well, Niranjan, the cyclone shelters in Bengal are now in a different condition from the cyclone centers in Odisha or any other state, because after the previous cyclone, the cyclone centers which were set up by Bengal government are now in completely abandoned state, and the cyclone shelters are broken, and the people there arranging the dry foods for themselves, and now the biggest danger is if that cyclone shelter collapses during this landfall, then where the common people will take shelter, because the condition of those shelter homes or those centers in Bengal, which was developed by West Bengal government, are now in a horrific condition. As Republic Bangla reported, those conditions are not very suitable for this kind of environment, not for safety and security of common man who are going to take shelter in those cyclone shelters, because those buildings are rusted, and there were no renovation work done for the past 3 years, as the local people claimed in Republic Bangla. So yes, of course, Bengal government, they are trying to suppress those images from our viewers, but this is the real scenario. The cyclone centers in West Bengal are now in a horrific state, but the common people, they have nothing to they have no other option. So some people took shelter in those cyclone shelter homes, and everyone is praying that this landfall just only pass, and no big damage should be done on those cyclone shelter areas, because those buildings are in a very disturbing condition. So everyone in Bengal who took shelter in those government shelter homes are praying that this cyclone Dana, when it will make its landfall, wouldn't cause so much damage. Over to you, Niranjan.
Okay, thank you for joining us with those inputs. I'm moving on now and getting in some details of some exclusive story that we picked up from Pakistan. I'm moving on now, switching tracks. Thank you for that. Republic TV will keep a track on the developments as Cyclone Dana makes a landfall in Odisha and West Bengal, also watching very closely, bracing for the impact. Let's move on now. A bomb blast was reported in Balochistan, and Republic TV gathered some exclusive video of that. It was primarily targeting a tribal leader, Qila Saifullah, in Balochistan. These are some pictures that came in. Take a look at the report and we'll tell you what this means in the fight for Balochistan.
An explosion was reported in Qila Saifullah district of Balochistan. The explosion turned out to be a suicide blast targeting a key tribal leader, Nawabzada Mehboob Jogzai. The blast was carried out by bike-borne assailants. The explosion did not result in casualties but injured 5 people, including the prominent tribal leader Jogzai. The targeted tribal leader, Nawabzada Jogzai, is considered to be close to the Pakistani army and the ISI. The blast attack on Baloch tribal leader comes just days after another attack where armed men opened fire on migrants, killing 20 minors and injuring 7 earlier this month.
All right, Kaswar is joining us live from Islamabad. Kaswar, what do we know about this attack? Who's claimed responsibility?
Well, Niranjan, it was yet another attack which has actually rocked Balochistan. And as you have rightly pointed out, that a noted and celebrity Nawabzada Mahbub Jogazai, who have been very close to the Pakistani Federation, Federal Federation, and of course, very close to Pakistan Army as well. He was the main target. This is what I am getting from my sources within Pakistan's establishment. He was very close to Pakistan Army and the Pakistan federal government. He was actually attacked. And as of now, what I am getting is that he luckily survived the attack, but still he is under ICU ward, and a team of doctors is providing him every possible aid. This is what I am getting from my sources within Balochistan government. And let me tell you that it was actually, according to my sources, a message to everyone who have been sidelining with Pakistan's federal government. It was actually a message. You know that Pakistan's army have been trying to quell militancy in Balochistan, and but still, the fact is that despite the tall claims by the Pakistani government, fact is that such number of attacks are happening across Balochistan, and the frequency of the attack, despite the tall claims made by the Pakistani government that they have quelled militancy, but still on the ground situation tells us that such number of attacks are increasing. And the frequency of attack, if we take critical analysis of such type of attacks, then we have got to know that the frequency of attacks is increasing, Virendra.
Yes, and we have seen in the last few months and years, the movement in Balochistan, the movement for a free Balochistan has been on. And in fact, not just the last few years, they have been fighting for at least 8 to 9 years now, and they have raised their voice across the world, including at the doors of the United Nations. And India has been, very pro-Balochistan. We've been speaking for the people of Balochistan at different points. We've seen the Chinese also being targeted in this particular region. Now, is the Pakistani army losing control of Balochistan? Is that the sense that you're getting with such attacks?
Well, honestly, there are no doubt that the Pakistan's military have actually quelled militancy. But I was actually talking about the tall claims by the Pakistani government that they have broken the back of terrorist network over there. Still, you have rightly pointed out that the Chinese are very active in Balochistan, and the Balochistan is actually the Gwadar, which is one of the most important districts. It is actually the center of multi-billion-dollar China-Pakistan economic growth, and so far around $30 billion have been spent by the Chinese side in China-Pakistan economic corridor. And there is no denying that the Balochistan terrorists have been attacking the Chinese, not only in Balochistan, but also in Karachi as well. Well, Pakistan's military maintains its influence across the province, but fact is that they could not break the bone of the terrorists as claimed by the Pakistani government. But yet, there is no denying that the insurgents are on the run, terrorists are on the run. But still, the concern of the common peoples of Pakistan and Balochistan is that the number of attacks are happening and the frequency of the attacks is increasing, despite the Pakistan army quelling militancy and breaking the bone of the terrorists over there as well. And one thing, Niranjan, is that, which I have noted, is that whenever in the past, whenever such type of incidents had happened there, the Pakistani government was quick to blame intelligence of Indian intelligence, RAW, and other things as well. But now it has been changing. They are not actually accusing Indian network or even the Indian intelligence, not at all. Actually, they have been blaming that the Balochistan Liberation Army is actually attacking the target as well. And this is a pleasant change, Niranjan, as well. At least they are not accusing Indian intelligence agency or the Indian network for such kind of attack. It is a pleasant.
Thank you for that, Kaswar. We'll keep a close watch. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kaswar, for that. There's a little bit of a delay in my audio getting through to you, so I'm leaving it at that. I'm moving on to some more big breaking news updates that we're getting into our newsrooms on. This is exclusive. It's turning out to be a big headache for the Indian aviation industry. It is certainly by design. I'm moving on to that breaking news update of the threat to Indian airlines, different airlines. Let's move on to that story now. No end to the bomb threats today. Fresh threats issued to 85 flights. 85 flights. Vistara, 20 calls. Air India, 20 threats. 95 threats received by various flights today. DGCA and the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security held meeting with airlines after numerous threats were received. The government has also come down heavily on social media platforms like X or Twitter and Meta. All hoax bomb threat messages on social media have immediately been taken down and IDs blocked by Twitter or X. I'm going across to Shravan and Harsha joining me live on the story. 85 to 95 flights. I'm hearing that the latest number is 95. Shravan, are you there?
Well, that's right.
How does the government plan to handle this? Because it certainly not just is a scare, but it's yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Shravan. There's a delay. Go ahead. My question to you was, I was going to ask you. It's hitting the civil aviation, the traffic, the air traffic, right? Businesses are going to be hit, right? How do they plan to counter that?
Well, there's absolutely no doubt that this is now turning out to be a major headache, not only for the airlines, but also for the security forces at this point in time. While there is absolutely no clarity as to whether at all they have been able to identify how exactly are these threat messages really coming in, where is it coming from, and who is really behind it. Is it from multiple platforms, or is it one particular group that is actually behind it? Let me just piece together what we know so far. In fact, sources within the government have basically indicated that you've had the Ministry of Home Affairs as well as Ministry of Civil Aviation looking into this entire matter. The regulators, for instance, in this particular case, that's the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security as well as the DGCA, have actually had multiple meetings with the airlines. The CEOs have actually been called in. They have been asked to follow a strict protocol. In fact, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has already indicated that once they identify who's really behind it, they would actually put them on the no-fly list. But would that really be enough? Because it turns out that this could be much more than what meets the eye at this point in time, because the preliminary investigation that was done by the Delhi police, particularly with about 6 FIRs that were registered, they indicated that most of these threat messages were being routed through the VPN network, which essentially means that dark web was being utilized for most of these messages to be to have been sourced. In fact, they've come in from multiple countries. For instance, the initial report actually suggested that they were being routed through countries like Pakistan, China, Hong Kong, as well as San Francisco. These were some of the countries that were named, apart from Germany as well. So right now, while there isn't a clear picture as to who exactly is behind it, you've had the government essentially indicating that they are looking into this entire matter. Stern action would be actually taken against the perpetrators, and also the fact that they have been in touch with the social media platforms, Meta as well as X. In fact, government sources were indicating that they have pulled up both the social media platform in order to take action against those who are using these very platforms to send across these threat messages to the airlines.
Harsha is also joining us live. Shravan, I'm just getting in one response from her. For the Civil Aviation Ministry, this is a big nightmare. I mean, for all the airlines as well, this is going to cause huge losses. More than that, I mean, these Khalistanis are a menace. Their threats are a menace. Harsha, how are social media platforms responding to this? Are they taking down these posts? Is there a mechanism to take down these posts?
Yes, Niranjan, yesterday there was a meeting which was called by Mighty, and in that meeting the officials of the X and Meta were called, and the meeting went on for more than 40 minutes. In that meeting, government came down heavily on the social media platform, government clearly asked them why such bomb hoax messages or the bomb messages which are posted on their platform, why was not that taken down immediately? Why the counter-terror division or the ministry had to intervene or write to the X platform to take the messages down? There's already a lot of panic amongst the passengers. So right now, what the law enforcement agencies, MHA and Civil Aviation Ministry is working, Niranjan, is towards to ensure that there is a minimum flight disruption, to ensure that there's a festival round the corner, and also passengers should not panic, they should not be scared, to ensure that the safety of the passenger is the paramount thing to the government and everyone. Also, we have got to know that today there was a meeting which was called by regulators, DGCA and DCAS of the airlines once again, because Niranjan, in the span of 36 hours, more than 170 flights were disrupted. More than 170 flights had got the bomb threat messages. In that, almost 20 flights were diverted to different places. So there's a commercial aspect also involved, because now several airlines have stopped informing and stopped forming the BTEC, which is a very important bomb threat assessment committee. Several have stopped forming it, because now the major concern for the Civil Aviation Ministry is that if the airline will start taking it casually, then it's more worrisome and concerning. So the meeting is happening back to back. We have got to know tomorrow again. The meeting has.
Harsha, I have to leave it at that for now. Harsha. I'm running out of time. We'll come back and get our viewers more updates on this. It's a huge nightmare. Taking a short break right now, and when we come back with the headlines at 7:30 and at 8 p.m. Arnab with the big debates tonight at 8 p.m.